In this video, we will look at how to use conditionals and loops in Mobius. Clicking on the control flow items in the left sidebar will insert control flow statements into your code. In this video we will cover if, else statements, and for each statements combined with break loop statements. We will not cover while and continue statements. They will be covered later. Let's have a look at the if, else statements first. The if, else statement is actually a compound statement. You insert each part separately. Clicking on the if will insert an if statement. The if statement has an input box for the condition. In the example, we insert a condition with a relational operator, which will evaluate it to a Boolean value. If it is true, the body of the if condition will execute. The body is the code indented under the if condition. In this example, the body is just one line of code that creates a variable called check. The value of the variable printed to the console, so that you can see that the body is being executed. The else if and else statements will only become enabled when the line of code with the if condition is selected. The else if statement also has an input box for a condition. But the else has no input box, since there is no need to specify any condition. It contains the final code block that will be executed if all the conditions are false. In this diagram, we can see that only the code in the else if code block is executed. The other two code blocks are not executed. If you are deleting lines of code, it is possible to end up with orphaned else if and else statements. If you try and execute such code, Mobius will not be able to compile your code. An error message will be printed. Now let's have a look at for each loops. If you want to insert a loop, you can click the for each. The for each statement has two input boxes. In the first input box, you specify the variable name you would like to use. You can specify any valid variable name. It does not need to be I as in this example. In the second input box, you specify the list that you are going to loop over. In this example, we use the range function to generate a list of 5 numbers. When the code is executed, the body of the loop will execute 5 times. The body contains a line of code that prints the value of I. In the console you can see that it executes 5 times. It is important to get an understand of the dynamics of the looping process. The first time around the loop, the value of I will be set to 10. And the loop body will be executed. The second time around the loop, the value of I will be set to 11. And the loop body will again be executed. And so forth until the list has no more items to process. The break loop can only be inserted inside a loop. This means that break loop will only become enabled when a line of code in the loop is selected. When you click break loop, the break loop statement will then be inserted below the selected line. A break loop statement has no input box. When execution reaches the break loop, it forces the execution flow to move to the line of code immediately after the loop. The break loop is usually placed inside an if statement. In the example, we break when the value of the variable I becomes 12. You may wonder why 12 is still printed in the console. That is because we have placed the break loop after the printing. So it first prints, then breaks. Here is the example discussed in the theory lecture. It includes a for each loop, an if condition, and a break loop statement. In the Mobius version, we have created more positions and more lines. We use the pattern.line function to make lists of positions. After that, the logic is exactly the same as the pseudocode version.